Hello, this is Nathan, better known as CrazyhermitDM, and this is my podcast, The Hermit's Homebrew. Joining me today is Brent from Langeministudio that can be found on Instagram, as well as Kelk, who can be found on TikTok as well as Twitter. All right, everybody. So it's been actually quite the last busy couple of weeks. I started the Patreon here within the last couple of months, and I started picking up with the posts. Actually, and then I'm going to be posting this week just because last night at our session, which we'll get into later, I had somebody on Instagram actually contact me and say they want Toy Bar as an NPC in their campaign.
Yeah, Toy Bar.
So I'm going to go on to Homebrewery Natural Crit and actually like tier 1 NPC everybody from our group and post it on the Patreon.
Oh, very cool.
Yeah. And then hand him Toy Bar because he's the one that came up with the idea, so he deserves that.
Is Toy Bar going to be the dealer for the deck of many things?
Hey, Toy Bar. Toy Bar would love to play the deck of many things.
Yeah.
Oh God, no.
But for sure. God. And then you convinced me to start a Twitter. The other big announcement is after a year and a half, for at least me and Brent here, is we're going to be playing Fallout 2D20 just in time for the new TV series to come out on Amazon Prime.
Yeah, it's going to be cool.
It's definitely like the stars are aligning with that one. A TV show, tabletop game.
And I heard that you pointed out to me what was it, last year when they started doing the hints and everything. I was like, oh, that's going to be super awesome. And then it's just, recently an old player got in touch with me. It was, hey, schedules are working out again. Can we start playing Fallout again? I was like, oh yeah, we could probably look at that. And then you reminded me like, oh yeah, well that's just in time for the Fallout TV show to come. Oh dang, it is.
Let's start doing a side podcast to our podcast about Fallout.
They do have a cool opportunity with Fallout too to do some cool stuff because unlike like we were talking during our session, we talked a little bit about The Witcher at last night at our sessions and kind of the spiral that show has taken a little bit that will be taking.
It still took a spiral that last season. I'll keep my opinions off air, but I am not a fan of that half.
But that follows a story, right? So that follows.
Is it one of the written stories or
Geralt?
Yeah.
I'll loosen my lips. The TV show just very, very, very loosely follows.
No, of course. I'm just saying, like the Witcher story itself is following Geralt of Rivia, a story that's been written. And Fallout, unless they're saying we're gonna be basing it off of like Fallout New Vegas or anything like that, they have an open slate to do whatever they want.
They're gonna be in Los Angeles
and LA.
They're in LA. Yeah.
Oh, cool.
I was gonna say I saw the big blimp ship that I thought was in Boston.
Could you imagine how big that map would be?
Yeah. That's one of the things that makes me kind of hesitant. Is I do not like rehashing old stories.
Yeah.
So if it's literally the Brother Steel shows up and tries to be all big and bad, and then it's like, pretty much rehashing Fallout 4. Well, yeah, there's a reference, and the Fallout the Brother Steel being what's left over of the military. They're gonna have the same power structure, just like if you're in California, Florida. It doesn't matter where you're at. The U.S. Army is the U.S. Army.
I figured,
but
like a lot of TV shows, though, that they're gonna obviously cater to the diehard fans that have been there for but they also have to probably be a little bit repetitive with a couple of old story beats to get in the new fans.
Yeah, and there's a little bit of like that Leonardo DiCaprio moment where you snap and point at the TV. I like some of the callbacks, but I like them being subtle.
Yeah,
and like calling back to, oh, hey, remember when this happened in New Vegas? Oh, yeah, that was awesome. But then you move on with, the new hotness. Because I would like to, because there's, with Fallout and with the mixture of the real world and the lore they've created, they can, like you said, they can literally do whatever they want.
Yeah, open slate opportunity.
Yeah, open slate.
They can make this one of the most incredible transitions to TV.
Let's hope that the professional writers earn that paycheck and write something good. Instead of just, hey, let's go back to 1980s movie, whatever, and let's just rehash this script and I hope no one notices. Come on, man. Let's be creative. You've got the perfect.
You're a creative writer for a reason.
Let's do it. Yeah, let's be creative. Let's do it. But visually, I'm happy with how it looks. It may be a little too quote unquote clean for me. The colors may be a little too bright. But that's nitpicky, that's like I said, it's all previews and trailers.
It's also,
and teasers.
50s apocalypse and everything is bright and
anytime you see what is he called? The boy. The Fallout boy.
Atreus?
Literally
Vault Boy?
Yeah.
Boy.
He's always very bright. Like, everything they do about him is very bright and
well, yeah, because that was all the propaganda. You know, everything's, you do what we say, everything's going to be good.
Yeah, so hopefully they keep that side of it.
Yeah, and that's the dark humor and stuff that I like seeing in Fallout every once in a while. It's like, hey, no, the world's not completely terrible, even though you're paying $57 for a comic book, you know?
Right. Things in bottle caps.
Vault-Tec always has our back. They always do us right, and they treat us good.
Yeah, the Vault-Tec and the government are working together to make sure we can survive. Exactly.
Yeah, they have our best interest at heart above their own.
Exactly.
It'll be interesting on how they decide in Fallout about the vaults and what the vaults are going to be for.
Yeah.
Yes.
Fallout, right?
Yeah.
What the different. And all that other stuff. So
and all
they have an opportunity.
And if any of them are going to be control vaults, what their experiments are going to be, that's going to be dark. If they do it right, like, because the main character, she is a vault dweller. Well,
of course,
what's her vault experiment? Yeah, that could be, crazy. Could be mind control. It could be genetic manipulation.
How many giant cockroaches has she killed in her vault?
God, they need to have her kill at least one in that first episode.
Yeah, I think that's got to be
like kitchen
with a nice
switchblade or something.
Or a 9mm pistol.
As big as her leg.
Yeah, just bop. Yeah.
Amazon
BB gun.
Amazon Prime's like gobbling up a lot of stuff though, or whatever. I think unfortunately the Dragonlance thing got canceled.
Yeah.
That got petered out, but that was going to HBO. HBO, the people that greenlit it, unfortunately they moved on or whatever, and then
bigger and better projects.
And then the new management wanted nothing to do with it. So
okay.
But I was scrolling through Amazon Prime the other day, just kind of looking, and they have a D&D channel on there and they're doing cooking shows with Heroes Feast and all this.
Yeah.
Oh, no way.
They got a lot of really cool stuff.
Oh, no way.
On Amazon.
And they have they have their own little live play or whatever that usually has like Matthew Lillard and a couple other people on there.
Nice.
The Purple Worm die. I don't know it well enough, unfortunately. It's the one with Purple Worm in the title for sure.
I'm not gonna pull my phone and look.
Oh yeah,
yeah, no,
that's fine.
Yeah. I just know that Amazon's been starting to invest.
But now that I know that it exists, I'll definitely be going and looking and checking that out.
Oh yeah, they make a lot of good things. I just warn you, don't go watching it hungry.
Oh well,
I'm always hungry.
Yeah, exactly. What are you talking about? I'm a growing boy.
But also, the other thing that I mentioned previously on the podcast is, I'm getting ready to move out of my apartment. I've had a lot more space freed up currently. I'll be probably with the live plays, and then probably a little more active with doing one-shots of Call of Cthulhu for people.
Yeah.
Because I have the room to go and do that whenever I want now.
I have to have a new character in that down, don't I?
Or not.
Yeah.
Since I got eaten. Yeah.
Or not.
Was it the Halloween one special? Everybody played.
You got eaten by the King in Yellow.
You were playing Professor Plum.
Professor Plum. Yep.
Yeah.
And
what was his first name? Or did we give him a
Peter?
First? Peter. Yeah. Oh, right. Peter Plum.
Yeah.
You guys were going to this ball or whatever, and you come to find out it was basically run by the cult of the King of Yellow, and Peter Plum's just almost to a default skeptic.
Yeah.
After all
they obviously drugged us with this.
How can you
we did 2 one-shots, one with the haunting with the ghoul ghost guy, and then we did the Yellow King, and I'm like, okay, and even in my head it's like, this has got to make Peter believe there's a supernatural. You literally went before an elder god and slapped the dude across the face, his mask off his face,
and then got eaten.
And then
I stabbed him in his eye with the knife.
Yeah,
and it just
light him on
and then it
fire?
just went in or whatever like that. Oh yeah, you went to go light him on fire, and then he finally hit you.
I stabbed him in the eye with the knife, and nothing happened.
Nothing
it sucked the knife.
Yeah, it just sucked the knife into the
and
worms.
So I took his mask off.
Yeah, you just slapped it off.
So I stomped his face on the ground.
And then he's just sitting almost inanimate on that throne in Carcosa.
Yep.
And that's when you guys are down this little pyramid.
Yeah, down the pyramid steps. Yeah.
And he just finally stands up.
To be fair, I dodged his first attack.
You missed an elder god hit you. They actually missed the first time.
Yeah.
All they gotta do is hit once, man.
And then as I described it to you guys, the next thing you see is just you see Peter Plum, basically all these worms come out of the hood of this Yellow King's mouth, and then he just goes straight down.
Slip me up like a spaghetti.
Like spaghetti, exactly. Oh my god!
And that is the last time you ever saw Peter Plum. And then I ripped up his character sheet.
Oh, okay. So he's not coming back. All right.
Yeah.
All right. Cool. He's dead. Because like my character, if he was gonna see Peter Plum again, it's like, nope, you're not real. You're not who you are.
I'm not usually that type of like dungeon master, game master, or whatever that's gonna rip up a character sheet. But I feel with Call of Cthulhu, if we're playing D&D for 2 years, if you want to keep your character sheet just to look at your dead character, go ahead.
That's what the mini's
for.
But
with Call of Cthulhu, we're on the second one shot. I'm ripping up your character sheet because I've never had the chance to do that.
Yeah, I really enjoyed the fact that you brought. It wasn't just a one shot the second time, right? It was technically like. It was another one shot, but you brought back the characters that we all played as long as those characters had survived.
It was like another episode in our characters'
The way you tied it all together,
that was really cool. Yeah.
We were all invited to another thing. Like, it was really cool. I like that.
Yeah, it was October 31st, 1929, which is I did like history.
Yes.
It was 3 days after the stock market crashed for the Great Depression.
Yep. Oh. And we were at like a Great Gatsby ball.
Yeah, it was a Great Gatsby ball. Yeah.
It was really cool.
Yeah.
And then people started dying and disappearing. Houses, the floor plans started rearranging on us.
Yeah,
God,
it was cool.
People were getting swallowed by books.
It's very hard to play. I'll be honest. It was very hard to play Peter Plum in those scenarios, right? Because I have to have this skeptic who, basically, to a fault, does not believe in the supernatural. It doesn't matter what's shown to him.
Do you believe in ghosts?
Yeah. I haven't seen one, right? Like, if we want to get down that, like, the religious aspect of it, I'm just agnostic, right? I just haven't seen anything that shows me to believe, and so I was able to play Peter Plum in that way, like that was natural for me. But when he starts seeing the things, and I still have to play him as a skeptic at that point, it's very difficult, right? So I was trying to come up with ideas off the top of my head of like, oh, obviously it's just a guy standing there, or. Like, that's why I ripped his mask off.
It's a guy in a Scooby-Doo mask. Yeah, come on.
We would have got away with it, too.
Right.
Meddling kids.
And didn't somebody else, like, died on the way?
So Sam played, but unfortunately she got ill in the middle of the thing. So her character got left behind in Carcosa, and you guys never saw her.
Yeah, she just like walked off in Carcosa, and we're like, oh, I wonder where she went.
Yeah,
she's gone too. All right. Again, if she comes back, my character's gonna be extremely like.
Yeah, we didn't see her die.
So Brent's character ran out of luck.
Yep. Yeah, literally zero luck. Yeah.
I think that results in something. I'm gonna have to check the rules.
Yeah.
That does result in a very negative effect.
Oh, I bet it does.
But
he's alive technically.
And then Tove in our D&D game, your wife played with us as well. She basically almost failed every sanity check that was thrown at her.
Yeah, she is. Yeah.
I actually went through and just like what would have happened, because it gives you phobias and it actually gives you in between the level advancements. She now has like an irrational fear of the color yellow if she wanted to play her character again.
Oh, cool.
Nice.
She's been to an insane asylum. She don't like the dark.
Nice. No paintings.
Yeah.
That are very.
The only one that like
awkward.
Like the only one that like I think she took like a couple of like mental bruises, but nothing physical. Is Rama.
Yeah.
Yeah. She did pretty well.
She did.
She
yeah.
really enjoys the Call of Cthulhu ones.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot less fantasy, I would say, in it, so it makes a little more sense to her. She has a better understanding of the real world.
It is a little bit more grounded and tries to be rooted in reality until stuff goes off the rails.
Wasn't that first like one shot? Like I didn't know to feel good or bad or whatever. She had like a full backstory written out on the back of her character sheet.
She did, yeah.
This is what happened to this. I'm like,
she's ready to go for that one.
I'm almost like, oh, I guess your character's coming back for sure.
All right.
Yeah.
The second one shot. And if you guys want to play those characters again,
Oh yeah, I'm down for
like.
I like the idea of going back to the one shot and time has passed.
Yeah.
And now you're still playing that same character, but like for me, like I would be playing a different character now, right? It's cool.
I took the idea.
You're play your intern or whoever. Because didn't Plum have an intern in his backstory?
Yeah.
Yeah, your boyfriend. Yeah.
Yes. I took the idea from
exerting that power over an impressionable youth.
I took the idea from this old RPG that had to do with like knights or whatever, and they would knights like in Arthurian legend would go out on like a season of like like adventuring. So they'd go on this big kind of quest, and then 1 year that would be their season of their 1 yearly quest, and then the next year would happen. So you basically went on like 20 quests until that, and then you progressed it.
Oh, okay, that's cool.
Yeah,
it was cool.
Huh, interesting.
Yeah, I'll be down for the next call.
Oh yeah, just say the word. Yeah. Oh god, yeah.
Maybe Easter we'll have a giant rabbit.
Oh, like an Easter version.
Oh.
I wanted to do
the resurrection of Professor Plum.
I wanted to do a Christmas one. I even had like a Black Christmas thing all kind of plotted out where what was it? Basically the girls have all gotten their own kind of like little like thing because like Rama's character has her own like kind of like sugar daddy almost that's paying for a flat, and then she's taken in Tove's character who's fallen to insanity. And then you like are working for like a detective agency in the area back in Arkham.
Yep.
And then basically was it she's kind of researching the occult, and then she ends up buying this Tibetan knife that leads to these very elf-like looking creatures coming to try and retrieve it on Christmas Eve.
Oh, very cool.
Okay. Okay. I was expecting a Krampus thing, but that's good too. Holy cow.
Guess who'd follow with the elves?
Oh, that's a good point. Yeah. I mean, yeah, Santa's got elves. Krampus has got to have something.
Right.
Little evil minions, little red caps or something.
But so with the randomness or whatever, I'd like to actually like talk about the last two sessions of the Wandering Emporium, because we weren't able to talk about that on the previous podcast just because we weren't able to get together. But you guys like had started basically going into the Wandering Emporium the last time we had talked on the podcast, and just insanity ensued. Basically, those first couple of sessions of like, you finally got basically a room temperature tavern, food, you got baths.
Yeah, we got luxury.
By the end of this or whatever, I don't know if you guys are going to have to pay or not, because I have to really think about it.
What are you talking about? He's the owner now.
Me?
Yeah.
Toybar is?
That's what I said. It's the Muspelheim branch of the Wild Ram.
That's true. I forgot about that.
The old owner has inexplicably not able to run it anymore.
You guys have renovated the management.
Exactly.
Yeah. New ownership.
We cut out some dead weight.
Contact Minos and see if I can put a new
it's a new Wild Ram.
Put a new franchise in.
Yeah, exactly. The fiery ram.
But yeah, I think where did we end up in our last session here? It was right as
you guys are going in.
Yeah, when we started
into the employee only area.
You guys had just
2 sessions ago. It was when we just showed up.
And then kind of checked into the rooms and then started ordering food, and then
because it didn't get crazy
a little
until
bit of investigation.
Nick showed up. Right, it didn't get crazy until Colfax was there.
Yeah,
which is understandable.
And then yeah,
you're carrying those around for some reason.
I'm trying to figure out how you're going to do that one. Then I'll make the judgment there. I'm not going to delve into it. Like the rules, I'm just like going to be real cool about that, because I want to see what Toy Bar comes up with.
Yeah, what are you going to do with vampire
as a player? When I read the reanimation or the reincarnation spell, it says you just have to have something of them.
Right? Well, this is me being a rules lawyer here, and I'm going to defer to Nate because he said rule of cool. But if you use the disintegrate spell on somebody, they turn to like dust. Yeah. And it specifically states you cannot resurrect people back from dust. But
was he disintegrated, or was he just his head cut off and vampire ashed?
And you turn to vampire ash. Is that the same as disintegration? I don't know. I'm going to default to Nate on that.
Basically, Toy Bar's going to try to...
It might come down to a fate dice roll.
Right. Yeah, and for even me, if I was a DM, I wouldn't know what I would want to do. I would want to default to rule of cool. And if you can bull your way enough through it of like, hey... it's magic. I ain't got to explain anything.
I got his DNA.
Yeah, I already have in my head the twist that will happen if you do
I bring it back. Yeah. I've thought about.
We can do a tea and drink it. See what happens.
Oh God.
Well, so my idea so far is I should be able to cast. As a player, I looked at that and I was like, I should be able to cast reincarnation on him. Now, whether or not he comes back as a vampire, or whether it just changes. If he was a human when he got turned into a vampire, now he becomes an elf.
Yeah.
But now he's not dead anymore, so he's technically living.
Yeah.
So he would go back to what he was before he was a vampire.
Yeah, is vampirism a curse or is it a disease?
It's a disease.
It's a disease?
Disease curse, or curse disease.
So it's more of
like lycanthropy is a cursed disease, I guess, or whatever.
It's more of a as a player.
Yeah. Right.
Toy Bar didn't dislike Walden.
No,
like Walden was pretty cool to Toy Bar. He gave me his ring. Like we did some fun stuff.
Yeah, he was a legitimately, for being a vampire lord, he was not a jerk.
Well, he realized he was in a bad place.
Yeah,
I feel.
And the more allies he had,
to get out,
increased his chance of survival.
Yeah,
that's how that turned out for him. But
so Toy Bar didn't have a bad experience with this guy as far as Toy Bar was concerned. Like this guy helped me out. He gave me this ring. Now nobody can read. I got the ring of mind shielding.
Yeah.
And I even went down the road of being shadow touched.
Yeah.
When I took the feat because
you drank his blood.
Blood? Or was it I drank his blood?
You drank his blood. You're the only one that did.
Yeah.
And then I gave you basically the true blood curse of basically like for the next couple nights you have like sex dreams about him.
Yeah. Which was
that was interesting.
But Toy Bar growing up working in a brothel, not even working like his family just in a brothel, like this isn't anything.
It's a bathhouse.
Bathhouse. Sorry,
it's a high quality bathhouse.
That's what it's listed down on the tax paperwork.
That's true. That was fine with Toy Bar, right? It wasn't like out of the norm. Right?
Yeah.
So, he was like, "Oh, well, Walden died," but he didn't have that same experience with Kyle. As far as Toy Bar is concerned, like Kyle didn't tell me that this thing was getting stuck to my head.
Oh yeah, that's true.
He was just kind of always weird and not necessarily mean.
Yeah.
But Toy Bar he wasn't someone that Toy Bar really liked.
Yeah.
So then this guy that he doesn't like just killed this dude that he does like. But now Toy Bar understands that there's resurrections, there's reincarnations. He's like, I can reincarnate.
Yeah, I can.
There's a wish. There's a wish if I can just figure out how to word it right.
Yeah, like Toy Bar is a little scared of that item. That's why he doesn't use it.
Well, I know, but even there's the wish spell.
Yes, but the monkey's paw is even worse, right?
Yeah.
So now I have his ash. So Toy Bar collected his ashes. Now he thinks I might be able to cast reincarnation on his ashes.
Maybe.
And that's really why Toy Bar's carrying around. At some point, he's going to try.
Yeah.
Life's just really chaotic right now.
Oh yeah.
So it's one of those things. Like I'll get to this later.
So speaking of chaotic, we made it through the acid trap and with the lasers and everything, and we ended up
melted the eye.
Yeah, we melted the eye. There was an eye inside the jar, the preserving jar.
Oh yeah, you tested it out on the acid.
Yeah.
It's like let's just see if this is actually acidic.
Well,
it wasn't even that. It was just Toy Bar was like, "Hey, I'm just gonna dump this out."
Yeah, Tove was like, "Yeah, dump that out." So I did, and then I was like,
and I said, "Yeah, it kind of bath bombed."
Yeah,
bath bombed.
So yeah, we weren't even trying to test the liquid out.
I randomly 10 minutes later, before we're getting ready to do something, I was like, "Hey, by the way, was I able to tell if it was the water that dissolved this eyeball, or was it just the eyeball being old?" But that didn't make sense to me because it's a preserving jar, so the eyeball would never have.
It should have stayed almost in stasis. Yeah.
Yeah, unless it's like the mansion that we did in that one, where once that thing that was holding it was removed, it rapidly aged.
Yeah, time caught up to it. Yeah.
So I just asked the question, and it worked out that was
and then
wild acid.
Like
it was melting
metal.
Yeah,
it was acid. It was melting metal.
Yeah,
stuff.
and then you threw a coin in it, Alka-Seltzer.
Tove threw a silver piece in
after you spit out a piece of beef jerky into it.
Yeah, I took out a piece of beef jerky, I took a bite out and just spit it out, and you're like, yeah, it almost immediately just like, oh,
so that was cool.
That's not good. And so then we made this idea of, okay, we're going to use one of the pillar that we didn't need for the puzzle. We're just going to knock it over and we're going to try to carry it over. And I laughed because we made it across and we got to the stairs going down, and then Nate's just like, why do you guys use the bookshelves? And
well, I didn't understand why we didn't just jump.
Well, we could do that. It's just
it was like 10 feet.
Yes, it was 10 feet. But what if you fail? What if you fail your athletics check?
I mean, you guys
just
I have mithril leaps.
5d8 acid damage for being in there one round. God.
I have mithril leaps, so like I was also just gonna be like,
so I would have been fine, but I mean,
I could just misty step over there. Like,
well, yeah, but
I could have dimension doored me and somebody
Toy Bar
else.
needs to understand not wasting resources when it comes to.
Yeah, but
we're gonna be fighting a demon.
I'm a sorcerer though. I've got 12 sorcery points right now.
Okay, and that's how many spells?
A lot.
There you go. That we can now use to fight a demon.
Yeah, but as a player, I know that most boss fights don't last more than like 4 or 5 rounds, so I'll never use all those spells.
Well, that's metagaming. Come on,
you guys got into the fountain, open the box in the middle, find out there's a ladder down there.
There's a ladder
down there. Used a scrying spell to figure out, okay, this ain't trap.
I did because scrying lets you put it in a location, so I put the scrying orb straight down.
Well, yeah, because you said it was like glowing, like the lid opened up and it was glowing like Pulp Fiction.
What was the class when I detected magic?
Oh, it was enchantment.
Yeah, because it was creating light.
Yeah, you're picking up. Okay.
It was.
So you picked up the thing, and then there was an extra dimensional tunnel, basically. So you're picking up on the enchantment of teleportation. And basically, I described it as a never-ending tunnel, almost like. I don't think I used it during the session, but it's almost like when you create a big old long tunnel in Minecraft and put a ladder outside of it, and just
then you look
down.
You put some torches
and
down.
And you put torches every like 5 to 10 squares. Yeah, exactly. And that was the glow coming. Was the ambient light from the torches?
It's 5 squares, you knew, that have nothing spawn.
No, I thought it was like 7 or 8.
I think it's 5. I was extra cautious.
Where's our Minecraft?
Yeah,
I'm sure someone listening will eventually be like, "Minecraft is this. This is how many spaces you get."
Yeah,
I hope so.
And it's good to know because
let's spark that conversation.
Yeah.
Comment down below to tell us how many spaces in between.
That's
it should be a torch to not have anything spawn.
Okay, Nate says 5. I say 7. Chase.
I have no idea. I haven't played actual Minecraft for longer than like a half hour.
Oh. I'm judging you now, but okay. So we made it to the long infinite stairs. Yeah. That turned out to not be infinite.
Nope.
We made it to the bottom, and came out into a cavern.
Yeah. And before we continue, our intern put in a bet of 5.
5?
7. 25. Okay, 25.
25.
There we go.
For what?
So we got a betting pool going on. We'll figure this out.
Okay, cool. All right, cool.
And you guys made Toy Bar go first.
Yeah, we did.
Toy Bar was down.
We should have made Colfax go first, but he wasn't.
He's jumping in as far as he knows.
We lost Colfax somewhere along the way.
You guys get down to this tunnel. Find this big open cavern.
Yep.
Find Mahadi down there before this kind of like stone altar, and behind him is this big old kind of organic like chamber heart with these like organic vines going into the cavern walls.
Yeah, like arteries.
And it's just like thrumming and beating, and every time it thrums, the green light goes through the veins into the walls, not back into the heart, but out.
Yeah, I was envisioning if anyone has seen the show Owl House, the Heart of the Titan, where it just the Emperor's got it in his throne room, and it's like this heart bigger than like a person, and it's just like beating. It's like, oh, that's fun.
Yeah.
But the one thing I was kind of happy about was the one feature you guys noticed right away, but you disregarded, thankfully, because it led to an interesting fight. Was a 20-foot.
Oh no, we didn't disregard it. We just thought it was
a 20-foot.
Yeah,
like,
we knew it was there.
That was in the ceiling leading up.
Yeah, on the battle map there was little dashes and a giant
little dotted circle. Yeah,
and initially when you started talking about it, I thought that it was just like an uneven terrain area.
Yeah, I was like, what is that?
And then you're like, no, it's a hole that goes straight up. And I'm like, oh, what if that just takes you back up?
Yeah, generally with those type of draw on map, I'll usually put like X's on the difficult terrain.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
that makes sense.
I think that's the difficult terrain thing, or that or it's actually DT or something.
No, I think it's X's. I think you're right. Yeah. I think the official maps don't use like lettering. I think
no, because they actually can have artists who have time to
actually have like skill. Yeah.
Okay. But you guys go in there, talk with Mahadi actually for a little bit before.
Yeah. Well, because he noticed me.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
So you made me surge. Yeah. Tove asked me to cast detect magic on her after
I made
her invisible so that she wouldn't hit any weird traps.
Magical traps or whatever, yeah.
But that surged me because we're still under his spell.
Yeah.
And I, of course, Toy Bar rolls fantastic on his surges. I got a week's worth of protection against aberrations.
Yeah.
Now that aberration protection, they can't even attack me unless they pass a charisma saving throw versus my spell save DC.
It's like Sanctuary in Baldur's Gate 3, which is a little more overpowered than the actual spell in the game.
So if an aberration wants to do anything to me, attack, they want to cast a spell at me, for the next week they have to roll on the charisma. They have to roll a charisma saving throw versus my spell save.
Okay.
And
yours is like 18.
It's an 18. Yeah, they have to roll an 18 to even hit me with anything.
Good God.
Otherwise it just doesn't work.
Yeah.
And then that's when you had him notice us.
I wonder how that works. I wonder if, like, let's say they have like a sword, they have to roll a charisma check, and then they roll against your AC. So you
have to do a charisma check to even attack, like actually attack him. and then they've got to defeat the armor class.
I mean, we can check it later, but that's
interesting.
It's because it's wild. But it was in our campaign, like that's very helpful.
Oh yeah,
because we're fighting the aberrations.
Exactly.
And it's a week-long thing. But that made Mahadi notice.
Yeah.
Yeah, he just turned around. He got annoyed. Like, all right, I know you're there. Come on.
And then I tried a little bit of deception.
Yeah, a little bit of diplomacy. That always fails us.
Well, I mean, I didn't have to. If I ever actually have to roll persuasion or deception, the odds of me passing are pretty high because I have a +10.
Which the only reason diplomacy failed us is because you did what Merrick told you to do.
I mean, Toy Bar listens. Like he's like, "Oh, you want to do it? Okay, I'll try."
Yeah, because you
as a dungeon master, yes.
There was a crystal in the corner that Toy Bar's like, "Hey, what is that?" And we're like, "Oh, it's giving off."
It's weird.
Yeah, it was giving off some sort of
Mahadi told me to try it.
Yeah, and Mahadi pretty much told you like, "Hey, find out." And so you cast dancing lights
at it.
And the lights went into it, and it reflected, and the dancing lights shot back out. Yeah, they like, oh, okay, that's interesting. And then Merrick was like, "Well, cast firebolt at it."
He's like, "You don't have a cantrip that deals
damage?"
I'm
like you don't have a damage dealing cantrip. You're like, "Yeah, I do." I'm like, "Oh, well, cast it at that."
Firebolt.
Okay, firebolt. Boom, and you hit it. And
I think at that point too, like I had you guys roll initiative.
Yeah. As soon as
it hit. There's a quake.
The dancing lights or whatever set the quake off. I think if I remember right,
something like that. Yeah,
but
that
came giant
first.
like I brought in a gargantuan, basically Funko Pop basilisk.
From Harry Potter.
Yeah,
to
represent
with the big eyes.
Check out CrazyhermitDM on Instagram. You'll see the size of this basilisk.
It was good.
Yeah, it was awesome.
Yeah, I'll have to actually post it on the timeline for sure.
Yeah, no, it was awesome.
But it drops, and then it's a gargantuan son of Nighthog. And
Lindworm.
And you find out that basically that's this dude's master. You haven't figured out the reasons behind everything.
Yeah, why did he need a master? Yeah.
But the battle ensued, and it was crazy.
Oh, yeah, it was nuts.
Like, Tove went off and started cutting off pieces of the heart veins.
Because, she thought it was power.
Rama went full anime.
Yeah, Rama went Dragon Ball Z on her.
So,
on
some of the things her and I have talked about is how to utilize that Radiant Soul.
Her Radiant Soul ability.
Because it's an action to activate it.
Yeah.
And so her actions are better used generally supporting the party rather than turning into the Hulk, right?
Yeah, essentially. Yeah.
So, and I looked at this situation and I was talking to her and I'm like, this is a perfect opportunity. Turn 1, nobody's taking damage. Like, let's blow your long rest. We're fighting a boss. Like, let's do it.
Yeah. If any time is to do it, it's now. Yeah.
So as an Asmar,
and she activated her Sun Mace, which she didn't end up using. But
well, because we were.
But still, I mean,
whatever. That's the hero there.
Yeah.
She's Nazamar. She activates her wings, activates the mace. So she's basically carrying around a sun on a stick. And
she's glowing herself.
Yeah,
she's got Tyrael wings at this point.
Yeah, she's got Tyrael from
Diablo. I described like you have just this general aurora. Like I don't think, fortunately, none of you watched Doctor Who, but it just looks like you have regeneration energy, just like encompassing.
I've seen
very Super Saiyan
Doctor Who
buff. She's a radiant being.
Yeah, she spent a turn to go Super Saiyan. Yeah.
So she used Radiant Soul, which is wild for her because it gives her bonus radiant damage or fire damage
to
if she casts
right?
whatever she does, if it deals to radiant or fire, she can add her warlock level to it as damage,
which is
a straight flat 12 for her right now.
So she hits minimum 12 damage plus whatever the minimum damage is for the thing she does.
And since she has the empowered Eldritch Blast,
she has her charisma bonus.
Agonizing Blast,
Agonizing Blast. She has her charisma bonus,
and now she can fire 3 beams, right? So it's 3. It's 1.
So it's
D10 plus 4 for each beam.
12. Yeah.
So when she activates that ability, technically it's a flat 24 damage.
Yeah.
So so I'm gonna do the math here. 3 beams at 1d10 each.
1d10 plus 4 each.
Yeah. So that's bare minimum 15 if she hits, because it's 1 plus 4 times 3, so it's 15.
The easy way that I did it was she has plus 12 to her.
And then plus 12, so that's
plus 12. So it's a flat plus 24.
Yeah, so that's
plus
base,
whatever she rolls on the 3d10.
Yeah, so that's base 27.
It's a guaranteed 27 damage.
It's a guaranteed 27 on a hit.
This is craziness.
Yeah. And if she rolls very well, obviously it's a guaranteed like plus 50. Not guaranteed. It's a plus 57.
Okay.
Yeah, my eyes just like went cross-eyed doing all that math.
Yeah, I'm just kind of like, wait a minute. Holy shit. All right. So yeah, so she was now flying, and she was gonna start nuking the
on turn 2.
The lindworm. Yeah.
On turn 2, she started.
Turn 1 Nick unfortunately wasn't able to come yesterday because he wasn't feeling well.
Yeah.
Yep.
So I took over Colfax. I made Colfax magically appear in the boss chamber.
That was really cool way you did that.
That was really cool.
Was really fun.
Yeah, like the wall opened up and he just comes flying.
Yeah, because the last
where'd you come from? I don't know.
You get for traipsing through the.
Yeah, that's what you get for getting lost.
The last time he played, he jumped through the illusionary wall as we talked. He was the first one.
And poofed. Yeah.
And then you guys go through, and
he wasn't there.
He's gone.
I mean, I just saw Surtur cast Wish as a non-god anymore. So.
So we're gonna find that out.
Before we continue, I have one last. I'm gonna turn this. I'm gonna flip the script on Nate. What are you looking forward to most as the DM?
What I have planned for at that mountain.
Damn it!
With the spark.
Okay.
The creation flame mountain. Okay,
that's fair. All right.
I have to imagine that would not be left unguarded by the ancient gods.
Yeah, it's not just gonna be sitting there.
It's gonna be something that you guys are not gonna expect.
Nice. That's what I look forward to.
Yep.
In combat, I look forward to being. I want to feel like I'm going to die in combat. I'm going to be like as a player.
You've been there a couple of times. What are you talking about, man?
That's exciting to me as a player. Like I want to have to.
Yeah, that's true.
There's a lot of times after our fights or boss fights, I kind of glance around everybody's stat sheets to see how much health does everybody.
This is the first time Merrick's been in a major combat without going down to 0. I wasn't even bloodied.
You didn't
was
even
like, what
take damage, I don't think, beyond your temporary health.
I know I was down to just above half.
Were you?
Yeah.
Oh.
The Lindworm's poison spray did a pretty good chunk.
Yeah.
I failed my save on that
damage.
one. Mahadi did like a paltry amount from his claw, but I got that curse. No, I was just above half.
As a player, I look at everybody's.
Yeah.
I kind of glance around the table and look at everybody's health pools at the end.
Yeah.
And if I don't feel that we were in a boss fight, that we were at any point losing or in trouble of losing or wiping, then I'm like, oh, okay, well,
we were close.
The fight was fine.
This fight with Mahadi and the Lindworm, that was close. That could have gone very bad.
So I'm gonna
Colfax and Alma changed a lot.
They did,
yeah.
Absolutely.
I'm gonna make one comment about during the fight with the Lindworm before we end.
Yeah.
Okay.
I tried to cast Geist on the Lindworm.
You did.
And my idea there was to basically have the Lindworm. I was gonna tell him to. The command was going to be to assist us in combating Wrathgriff. And kill that MFer.
Kill Mahadi.
Yeah, it's his servant, so he probably would. Whatever.
Yeah.
That was going to be my goal.
Okay.
Now he wouldn't have had to follow it. He would have just had to take 5d10 psychic damage if he didn't. But it was a legendary action. My other option in that moment was going to be animate objects, because I realized we were kind of in trouble.
Yeah.
And if I would have animated objects, I didn't do this because that would have been me metagaming action economy.
No. Oh well.
Because I would have been like, that rock that I'd blown up that was shattered, I was gonna be like, animate objects. Now I have 10 rocks that are flying around.
Little Caleb Derbs that
are gonna have that he's gonna have to handle. And it's not a concentration spell.
Oh, it's not.
It is not a concentration.
I didn't know that. Okay.
So I was gonna do that, and then I was gonna go anti-life shell. Bam. And I was just gonna sit there.
Oh, okay. You're just gonna chill and let everybody die. Nice.
Well, no, I was just gonna sit there in an action economy because he can't stop that spell if he can't hit me.
Oh, okay.
Anti-life shell means only undead and constructs can come through that shield, and he was neither, as far as I knew.
Well, as a DM, I will end it right here and say, I can't wait for your reaction to see what Mahadi's going to be in the sword. Right there.
Oh,
Good night, everybody.
Oh no.
Hey, tabletop gamers, this is Nathan. Thank you for watching this episode of the Hermit's Homebrew. Make sure to check out our regular episodes that come out every Wednesday. Please remember to subscribe, like, and follow the podcast as we continue to level up and grow.